Hey guys, welcome back to the Dually Build Series. As you guys know, we're building up a 2015 GMC 3500, which is on like 37s, and it's big, and it's dumb, and it's awesome. In today's episode, I'm going to be focusing on a couple things like flocking the A and B pillars, doing the grill, which is be really cool, you guys like that. Then I'm going to be fabricating up some custom side steps, which I've never done before, but we'll see how that goes. It's just metal. We'll figure it out. But as you guys know, I've been working with 74 Auto. They're the people who provided me the truck, giving me this really awesome opportunity to work on stuff. If you guys don't know who 74 Auto is, actually, hold on, Alan sent me an email and told me to stay away from saying certain things because apparently I say them wrong. Make sure you don't say that because you sound stupid because you don't know what you're talking about. Well, that just doesn't sound right. Okay, so they purchase wreck cars from insurance companies and wholesale them to consumers. So you can buy the project vehicles at their website, 74 Auto, or if you already want to buy one of their rebuilt cars, you can buy them at recar.com, which is basically their just completed rebuild car done and ready for sale. So you can get into a specific car for cheaper. It's already been rebuilt and all the work's already done. So if you want the benefits of having a rebuilt car without spending the money and doing it yourself, you want to be lazy, you can already buy a rebuilt car. And they've sold over 20,000 vehicles and been doing it for like 20 years. And what's really cool about these guys is that they're super transparent about when buying vehicles. I actually had another YouTuber friend of mine buy their Ariel Atom they had for sale. And they're super thorough. They make sure you know exactly what you're getting into. They show you exactly the damage. He even did like a FaceTime, like a video FaceTime to walk around the car and zoom in on everything that was damaged. They're super transparent about everything that they buy and everything that they sell, so you're not gonna get something that's like sketchy. Because they sell everything from McLarens to Malibus and all that good stuff, so like you wanna be 100% positive. Because like when you buy from auctions or most dealers, it's a gamble at what you get, but these guys are super transparent. That's all I'm trying to say. But Alan, one of the owners, wanted me to put a poll and figure out what you guys wanna see in the next video. He keeps saying he wants me to do a Jeep. I think that maybe another sports car or something like that would be good for the next build, because we are coming to a conclusion on this truck soon. I say soon, it'll probably be like another month before it's completely done, but you guys get the idea. So obviously I'm keeping the dually, like that's my truck. But the next build, I'll be giving it back to them, and they're going to be selling it under their completed build projects, if that makes sense. So if you want to see something up next, like specifically, make sure you leave a comment, whether you want it to be like a Corvette, a Camaro, a Jeep, a Lamborghini, you name it. So yeah, anyway, let's get started. All right, this is now officially time to flock the handles. If you don't know what flocking is, don't worry, you're not the only person. I didn't know what it was until a couple weeks ago. Basically, flock is a powder-like material. For instance, this black powdery material that you kind of spray, I guess. But it's supposed to feel the same as suede. At least it's basically like powdered faux suede. You paint on your adhesive like this. You just paint it on to whatever you're doing. Then you put your flock in this flocker thing, and it applies the flock all over the handles, or whatever you're doing, I guess. Not specifically just the handles, but you guess what I'm saying. This is the way that I'm gonna be wrapping these in suede, so they don't, get all weird, if that makes sense. Because right now they're tan, and then the bed liner, with just the bed liner, kind of looks lame. So what I'm gonna do is tape up the handles and then apply the flock to this whole A, B, and C pillars, and I'll have suede A and B and C pillars without having to use suede. I'm gonna take these handles off. So basically I want everywhere that's not bed liner to be covered in suede. So I'm just gonna tape off the handles, apply the adhesive, apply the flock without getting any on the bed liner. Fill this thing like half full, it says. This is your adhesive, your undercoat. It's almost like a black paint slash like glue that we're gonna use, but I'm just gonna kind of stir it in here, pour it in this little pan so I have good enough brushing room, and then basically start brushing. That is a lot. It's more than I wanted. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on here, but Jesus, that worked really well. Guess I'll go ahead and do the next ones. So now I've flocked all of the A and B pillars. I'm gonna wait on the C pillars because one of them is damaged and I need to repair I need to get a new one, not repair it. However, this has turned out to be excellent, and it's not really that messy. I mean, it's a little messy, but I mean, all this stuff can be reused. If I can get all this into a bag, I can reuse all this flock later. And they want you to go heavier than what you think you need because the adhesive can only accept so much flock. So once you go beyond a certain point, it doesn't matter. But they said to let these dry for like 15 to 16 hours. I'm gonna let it dry overnight before I brush it because they want you to brush the excess flock off. And so I'll let it dry overnight, brush all the excess flock off, then install it in the truck. A lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. I was really nervous about this whole process, but this is well worth the time. All right, it is the moment of truth to see how these turned out. Okay, so I'll remove the tape and then we'll try to shake the excess fibers here. It said let dry for like 15 to 16 hours. I let it dry for a day, or actually I think 2 days. I think I did this 2 days ago. Saturday, so yeah, 2 days ago. I wanted to make sure that this didn't get all dicked up. They say use a brush, and I don't really have a brush that I feel comfortable using on this, just to brush off any of the excess fibers. There's gonna be so now that we got these done, we can go put these in the truck. And just in case you guys didn't know, you could get 10% off all HeatwaveVisual sunglasses using the coupon code DOITWITHDAN. easy. Look at that. That's awesome, man. That turned out really well. I think I am gonna leave these tan though, because they do really blend well with the rest of the truck, like the seats and whatnot. So yeah. Now I haven't done the C-pillars yet because I am waiting to repair this one. I'll have to fix this one with the body damage because it ended up getting pretty damn destroyed in whatever accident this guy was a part of. I'll do these last. This is gonna be probably like one of the last things I do before I wrap it. That's cool as shit. I like the way that turned out. All right, so the other day I also purchased this, which is my new grill for the truck. But I saw this and I was like, you know what? That's actually like pretty okay for what I want, you know? I wanted something like casual mesh, you know, similar to like the way the Ram is. However, I was gonna put these 3 LEDs in it. Then I found this one for like $100 online, not bad. I mean, people wanna charge like $900 to $1,000 for mesh grills nowadays. And this one's all ABS plastic, so it's not metal, I don't really care. And one of the main reasons I got this is because I have an idea, right? That involves sheet metal. So basically I'm thinking I have these light bars, right? And right now I have them just mounted to the plastic intake on the truck. And you know, I could probably put them behind this thing right here and they would work. Like that's almost perfectly spaced, right? Just put them right there and there. Just make a mounting bracket for it. What I'm also thinking about doing is taking the plasma cutter against the steel, cutting 2 little slots out of it like this for these, you know, here and then here, making a little bracket for it and cutting out a piece of this and using it like where the light bars go, and then it'll have like a little metal bracket backing it and be smooth with these body lines or something, you know. You can buy grills like that, but they cost a fortune, and I think I can really save some money here. So I think what I'm gonna do is get the plasma cutter going that I picked up in the last video and try to make a little panel for it that I can go right here. Then I'll Dremel sections of this out and then sandwich it and have a little grill mount. What do you guys think? Who cares? Let's do it anyway. Now, I don't know anything about plasma cutters. Never used one, and I've been trying to do my research. So I want to make my own custom bumper, but at the same time, I have a bunch of other things that I really want to do. This just kind of gave me the courage to actually go through and buy one. But this one also does 110 and 220, which is really actually 240 volt. Apparently that's like the old way of measuring electricity. Somebody in the comments can correct me, but from what I understand, 240 volt is the exact same as 220. People just say one or the other because it's like habit. But so this plugs into the same plug as my welder. I had no idea what I was getting myself into with this thing, but I am so glad I did. I was definitely going a little fast there. I was doing that on purpose because I wanted to see kind of like how this machine works at whatever. And obviously this is really thin, so it got a little warped, but I can fix that easy. I can't believe how fast it just blew through that. I get it, you know? Like obviously it's gonna go through thin sheet metal like that really easily, but wow, I was not ready for that. Holy crap. I had no idea what I was getting myself into with this thing. This is so cool. All right, so went to the store to go get some thicker steel. Saw the like the diamond cut steel, like the tread plate steel, and decided that I think that this might make a better option here. I'm gonna use this thing for everything now. Just need to make brackets for this to mount. Now I know some of you guys are gonna be like, okay, genius, you know, how are you gonna mount this thing? And to be honest, no clue. Just kidding, like kinda. A couple of ideas in mind, but I think the best one is gonna be just create a couple of pieces of steel that go all the way across the top and have them match up with some bolts that stick through. Just weld on the heads of some bolts through here and have them stick up, and then we basically just sandwich this whole piece together. You guys know that I'm installing the front of this grill, right? And it's got 3 running light LEDs in the front. Much like the Ford Raptor, I really like the styling of that grill. And I figure this truck needs more lights. Yeah, that's exactly what this truck needs. I love wiring so much. But all joking aside, I need to wire those little LEDs in the front of the grill to where they're on with the daytime running lights and not the blinkers, because in this truck you have daytime running lights that are the blinkers, which makes it a little weird. So what I'm doing here is tapping into the daytime running wire. This truck has 3 wires that go to the front blinkers, which is your yellow, green, and black. Black is obviously ground, and yellow is the signal wire, meaning that whenever you put your flashers on, this goes, and then there's constant power that runs to the green. Then I believe whenever this sends 12-volt signal, it flashes on and off through a rectifier of some sort. So this one gets power no matter what, and then this one flashes. So what I'm doing is I'm tapping into the power and the ground. We'll see. I think I got it right. Oh yeah, probably help if I plug this in. So we have these running as well as these, but when I go to put the blinkers on, these won't blink. See, not blinking. Neato burrito, huh? I mean, that's blinking, these aren't. So that's good. I just gotta tuck all the wires. Alright, so there she is, all mounted up. I mean, obviously, I feel like I have to clarify this, but I will be painting this particular piece matte black to match the rest of it. Otherwise, the internet's gonna be like, we're gonna paint it, because they're dumb. But that's cool. Not a bad little grill. Now that I get the plasma cutter, I could probably cut out some big letters that say something across the front. What do you think? I don't know. Dan Ollie. D-A-N-A-L-I. I don't know. It's 10 o'clock. I'm gonna call it for the night. I'm going to be attempting to make some stuff. Got me some DOM tubing. I've talked about how I'm gonna be making my own bumper, and I'm gonna be using very similar... Son of a bitch. I know I talked about making my own bumpers, and I'm gonna be doing that. It's not gonna involve much tubing, I don't believe. I haven't figured that part out yet. I'll get into that in a minute. But I do want to make some side steps. I do want to make some steps that I can get into the truck. Because of me, I am short. So, like, rather than spending a couple $100 on some Nerf bars, I have some leftover DOM tubing from when I built my motorcycle frame, which is actually like thicker and more sturdier than the stuff that they normally use. Like, I believe this is 1.25 inch with 0.125 wall thickness. Standard DOM tubing size for motorcycle frames. I just happen to have it left over after doing a couple of builds. And I've got my tube bender set up in here, and I'm gonna make my own side steps. So these are both 5 feet long, but I need 7 feet altogether from tip to tip, which means an extra 2 feet of tubing on either side. So 4 feet. I have some spares, so we're gonna do some things here. I haven't done tube bending in a while. The science behind it's really weird. So I think the goal here is to bend 2 pieces of tube at 45 degrees, chop them, weld them onto each end, then make some mounts for them and weld them up. There's tons of videos out there that I would suggest watching rather than this one to figure out how to tube bend. But basically, you set your tube bender at 0, make sure the tension is pulled out so you know it's set at 0. I'm going to mark this at the beginning, I'm going to bend the tube, and then I'm gonna mark the end, and that way I know how much of a radius the actual bend is. I hope that makes sense. You'll see what I'm talking about though when I get done bending it. Now I want you guys to pay close attention to how the steel reacts to a bend. So as I bend, it's going to bend the material, obviously. Now I want you to watch this. So we're somewhere between 5 and 10 degrees, looks like about 8 degrees. Now watch what happens when I let go of the tension. The metal bends back. So even though we bent it to about 7 or 8 degrees, it bent back to 5 degrees. That's because metal is spring-like material. So that means when we get to our final 45 degrees, we're going to have to bend a little bit past. So now I'm gonna keep bending. A little over 10, about 12, and now it's gonna spring back to about 11. So we're just gonna keep doing this. Pick up these tube benders, Harbor Freight tube benders. There's a bunch of these online. The dies are the most expensive part of them, but they're well worth the money if you do anything that involves metal work. And you don't do it on like a hell of expensive scale, you know? If you don't do it on like a mass production scale, just personal stuff, I wouldn't bother looking at hydraulic benders because they're so expensive. Just touching 45, we're gonna have to go a little bit over. And this is where it's important to be careful and watch. So a little bit past 40, let the spring back go, release the tension. About 43. Oh man, it's just at, I'm gonna give just a little bit more oomph. Boom, perfect 45-degree bend. Let's mark where our bend ends. Make sure you mark it in the same position that you marked where it begins, so you have consistent idea of how much material it takes to do a bend. Since I'm doing a 45-degree bend, it doesn't take much material. And there we have it, a beautiful 45-degree bend. So that way, you know, if I want this part to extend a few inches, I know exactly where to cut on either side, and it'll be consistent for every piece that I make. So I've marked all of my cutting lines, 8 inches on one side, 1 inch on another. I'm gonna go cut these and then bevel the edges and then come back and we'll weld it. I'm not even gonna bother showing cutting because cutting's boring, so. Made. I have this giant piece of 11 gauge steel. It's 4 foot by 8 foot. This is what I'm going to be using to make my steel bumper out of. I'm going to be using 11 gauge, which is like 1/8 inch thick steel, to make the profile, the whole shape of the bumper. And then I'm gonna be using 1/4 inch to make the mounts and supports. However, I'm going to be using some of this material for these. If you're thinking to yourself, Dan, is this heavy? The answer is yes. Very. Oh my God. Last night, made a handful of brackets, and I'm not happy with them. I changed my mind on how I want to mount this, so I'm basically gonna do it again, differently. So, yeah. So now I'm going to tack this to the frame, not permanently, just to let it sit up there where I can drill some holes and mount it to the frame without it being permanent. Cool? Cool. First time I've had a chance to really see it on the truck since building them, you know. So I'll just drill some holes, make sure that they go through the other side, everything lines up bolt-wise, finish all my welds, and then that'll be that. We'll do the other side now. Much better, much nicer. Whew, much. All right, so passenger side is done. It's all mounted up and whatnot. Then driver is too. No, it's not welded to the frame. Basically have 2 bolts on each one that hold it in place. That go through the frame. Then I welded some extra supports for them inside the frame, so that way it doesn't, you know, lose any of its structure or whatever. I think there's only 1 bolt in each right now because I still have to pull it off and rhino line it or whatever it is, but even with only the 3 bolts in it, still does its job very well. Very strong, holds me just fine. I'm about 195 right now. The fuzzy pillars here, those are nice. The nice seats. Build's coming along, but very happy with the way this has turned out. Turned out very well, and obviously it's still raw metal. And no, I'm not leaving this. I know if I don't explain this to the internet, people will, when you gonna leave, when you paint it, you gonna powder coat it? Like, what are you gonna do, Dan? Because you know the internet. But like I said, very happy with the way it's turned out. Certainly makes things a lot easier. So yeah, this is where I'm gonna end the video. I want to say thank you guys for watching the build. Get as much done as I can right now. I think we got the house situation under control. I don't know yet, but either way, this is very good. I'm very happy with this. So in the next build video, I will be taking on the bumper. That's right, I'm gonna hopefully be fabricating my own bumper. It's the whole reason I bought the plasma cutter. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. I love you, etc., etc. I'm gonna go home and die now.